Caleb Williams talking about changes that are coming on the offensive side of the ball for the Chicago Bears, who were much hyped going into the season. Then the season starts, and they're not all that good. They're mediocre. Then they get to 4-2 at their bye week, and we think they're starting to figure it out. And then since the bye week, it has been a debacle. Really, from the moment, and they weren't offensively proficient and prolific against the Commanders, but they had the game won. From the Hail Mary on, it's just been straight downhill for the Bears. And I don't know what they need to do. I think it could begin with, better blocking. So many of the problems that teams have that get coaches fired starts with bad offensive line play. That's what keeps the offense from doing anything. And the offensive line play got better, so the running game got better, Caleb Williams got better, and now lately just everything's bad, nothing's working. But the offensive line play doesn't nearly get the scrutiny that it should when we see an offense fall apart. Because if you have a great offensive line, your offense is going to work. If your offensive line stinks, nothing's going to work.
And that's the truth of the NFL. But again, that's the reason why coaches get paid. Again, if we could build a team, then yes, if we build a team, we'll have a good offensive line. We'll go get weapons. I always challenge guys when they're like, this team just needs this. I was like, yeah, to make it an all-star team, but you don't get an all-star team for every NFL team. You're not going to have that. So again, we look at the New England Patriots. The whole preseason, everyone talked about how poor and bad their offensive line has been. This offensive line is terrible. You can't put the rookie Drake May out there. Through the first few weeks of the season, it lives up to it. The offensive line is really bad. Drake May gets inserted. Somehow they look operational. Are they good? No, not at all. But somehow, we're not seeing this quarterback get killed every single play he drops back. Then you look over on the other side, Chicago, who coming into the season, there were talks about their offensive line, but not the way it was talked about in New England. And you have these, both top 3 quarterback picks. But now you look at Chicago and it's like, well, what are we doing to kind of help some of the issues we have? How are we avoiding some of those issues? What are we going to do to make the problems we have on offense not hinder us and hold us back? Because what are the strengths we have? We have DJ Moore. We have all of these guys. We have Keenan Allen. We have all of these players that everyone keeps raving about. We have Cole Kmet. We can't get them the ball. We can't do different things. And Coach Jason Garrett said it Sunday night when we were on Football Night in America or after on our pod. And he said, they need to move the quarterback. Stop dropping back, keeping the quarterback in the pocket, asking him to do the things that we ask some of the best quarterbacks to do, the Bradys, the Mannings, the Rodgers, that they were asked to do in their prime. He's not ready to do that. But time after time, if you turn on a New England Patriots game, it's these deep play action plays. He's sitting back there. Sometimes there's guys open. He's not letting it rip. He's trying to make these kind of unbelievable, spectacular plays. And you can blame him all you want, but that's a part of being a rookie quarterback. It's up to the offensive coordinator and the offense to say, hey, let's help this guy out. Let's run the ball and then let's run bootlegs. Let's get him moving. Let's make it so when he's running to the sideline, he throws an option A or option B or he runs. They haven't given Caleb Williams those things. And I think not only will that help him, it plays to the strength of their team and gets them out of the pocket where their offensive line's not that good. But they haven't done that. And you see some of those numbers are just awful, but they're not helping. And the problem with trying to change your offensive coordinator now is Shane Waldron wasn't there last year. You went and you decided to go get him and bring him in, and you knew you were drafting Caleb Williams. So now it's like, who else is on staff that you think is going to be better than him? Because I'm sure the other people you brought in around Shane Waldron were guys that he probably wanted there. So that to me is the issue when you start saying hey, it's all Shane Waldron's fault of what, he's running and what he's doing. I got to imagine what he was doing in Seattle last year, they kind of liked and brought him in for that reason.
I think when we see those things happen mid-season, it's just a precursor to bigger changes. There's desperation. We have to do something. We have to make the fans think we're trying. And the easiest way to do that is to start firing people. Or reassigning responsibilities like what happened to Nathaniel Hackett in New York early in the season. It isn't going to get better. The Raiders last week, 3 offensive coaches gone. Good luck finding 3 people to replace them on the fly. These are all things that fall into the category of changing the tire on the moving car. It's not easy to do. You're not going to make some magical sweeping change that all of a sudden fixes everything. It's only going to make it worse, and it sets the stage. I said this after the Hail Mary. I said that Matt Eberflus had better avoid letting this loss become a second loss, because this is the time of year that owners are figuring out what they're going to do after the season. They don't wake up in January and say, should I fire the head coach or should I keep the head coach? They make the decision in November. They start working toward it in December. They know who they're going to hire, or at least they know who they're going to interview. A lot of them know who they're going to hire before the process even starts. Let's be real about it. But this is when those decisions are made, and then they're implemented after the season ends. Matt Eberflus is doing himself no favors because they're not going to get rid of Caleb Williams. I thought it was funny to even suggest he might be benched. He's the guy. They're going to go get a coach to try to get the most out of the guy if this coach can't do it. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.